Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Tinker77. We're back on FoolCraft. I know you've been waiting for it. I've been away for a little while, as you know, so this is a welcomed change, getting back to FoolCraft. So what is the plan for today? Well, I'm going to go to the area where I destroyed with the quarry, and I'm going to do some terraforming. One of the first things I'm going to do is take out the big trees that were there, and then we'll eventually replant. So being in the area too will cause the grass to grow. So we'll do some terraforming. It'll look pretty cool. So the first thing I want to do here though, since it's all dirt, I want to make a big, nice shovel. We don't have a shovel yet, so we have a shovel, but we don't have a good shovel. So I'm going to make a mandolin shovel. I only think we need about 3 or 4 of these. Let's put in 4 for now. We're going to make it out of mandolin, and then we're going to make for that to make it unbreaking. And then we'll eventually add some things to it to make it faster and faster as we go. But we need to get this done, so let's see. What does it take for that? Let's go look here. I'm not even sure. Basic shovel, tool rod, shovel head, and binding. That's pretty easy. So we're going to need the shovel head. Where is the binding? Here is the bind. No, this is the binding and tool rod. Okay, so we're gonna make up the shovel, and then we're gonna put on some unbreaking. Now we have our mandolin shovel. It's unbreaking, it's great, and as we get experience with it, we can upgrade it with some redstone to make it quicker. So yeah, we're ready to go. So before I move on, I want to say, hey, if you like these videos and you continue to like FoolCraft, please click that like button. It takes just a couple seconds. It's real quick. You just go out there and you click the thumbs up. That helps me a great deal. So I just want to say, if you're liking that, please do that. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go on out. I've got with me some cobblestone and some redwood saplings. I'm going to show you what the basic plan is. The first plan is to sleep, because we don't want to be out here in the dark. But you can see in the background, once you get past all this wording, is that there's these trees here. These large redwood trees. And they're massive. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to try to take them out and put in new trees. So how do we do that? Well, the plan here was that I would go out and find a tree someplace, and like say this big tree right here. Now, it was right down here. It was this whole square, I believe. But I'm not sure where it begins and where it ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shovel out the bottom. And then I'm going to take some cobblestone and put a marker down. And I'm going to do that for all the trees out here, so I have a place to work with. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to vein mine it. So I'm going to go up here, up to the top, and I'll just stand on it. And there's another tree right beside it. Maybe I should get rid of this tree too then, since they're right next to each other. Let's see, real quick, before I vein mine. I don't want to vein mine and have some errors happen. Okay, so those 2 trees are isolated. Are they connected to anything else? Looks like they might be. That's the hard part. You got to figure out if they are connected to anything else. Let's see if I can break it up so they don't. I don't want it to, when I vein mine clear into the ground. That's the goal here. So we're just clearing up this. I'll make it like a nice break. There's a physical break between them. So how is everybody doing today? Are you glad that FoolCraft is back? Because I certainly am. You know, things have kind of calmed down a little bit, so I'm able to give this a shot. There we have that tree. Those 2 trees there are completely separate. So now we'll take them out. Here we go. On top of here, and we're going to vein mine. Like that. And there we go. Hey, look at all this dirt. I think we're going to have a lot of dirt when we get done, but that's okay. We can compress it. But then that's where we have 2 trees that we could plant. So then I could just go through and take out this cobblestone. And in theory, I should be able to put one of these trees. Now, I don't know if it takes 1 or if it takes 4 to plant. So we're going to try out 1 here. And we'll do the same thing here. And I'll give it some time. We'll see if that actually grows into a big tree or if I need to put 4 down as a base. But we're slowly going to replace this entire forest. So that's the goal. I'm not going to put it in a time lapse. That would take too long. I can't do third-person time lapses because I can't load the camera account because of memory. So we'll just have to play it by ear. I'll do a little progress updates to show you how it goes. We'll see how these trees grow. That's the first thing I want to test. But we'll see how it goes. I came back to the base. What I wanted to do was modify this shovel. So what I added to it was alumite, which gives it the global traveler, so I can link it to my storage system. Okay, so I'm just going to right-click on here. Or sorry, shift right-click. There we go. Inventory's linked. Now, we are going to run out of space pretty quick, so I'm going to grab a couple more of those drives and put them in here. I took them out once I put all the stuff into these, but you can see they're all red. So we're going to run out pretty quick. So let me do that. We got 64K drive. Let's see if we have them here. 64K. We got a bunch of disks. That's good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll throw it into this drive up here, which I haven't used yet. Okay, so we're good to go. I'm going to head back out, see if we can see the tree or not has grown. It'll be this way. It may not have. I also brought some bone meal so we can see if it helps or not. So let's try that out. Let's try some bone meal on it just to see what happens. So it's not looking like it's working. So let me plant 4 down. And now let's see what happens. So I'm not quite sure how that will work. Interesting. Well, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to start to trim out some of the other trees and get working on that. Progress update for you. Looks like we have some trees finally growing. And I think I'm going to need to go a little bit deeper when I do this because they're going deep down in. But we have a lot of trees set. Not a lot's grown yet, but I've cleared out some area. So it'll look really good when I get it back. But we got to, just keep on plugging away, try to do this stuff. Now, interesting thing here is that this used to be, I believe, water, like a little pond. Now, although I don't want to dig it out, but I could set up some water sources in here and fill this with water. And I may do that to make it look a little bit better because it is sealed. And it might look pretty cool. So I might do that just to add some other color to it. We'll see. But I'm going to continue on working on these trees because we need to get these trees figured out. It's looking a little better. It's not looking too bad once we get some of these trees going. I may have to thin it out a little bit. I think maybe some of them are just too close to each other. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. What I'm going to be doing, since they put in their own little base here, basically kind of it flares out at the bottom. What I'm doing is I'm just going to dig down and make like a barrier of where I can walk around too high. See, I've kind of dug it out so you can get underneath here. And that way when I vein mine, it won't go into the ground. And I'm just going to go through and just shovel that out and then get rid of the trees and then plant some more and watch it grow. So I'm just going to keep on doing this. So that's, it's rather tedious. It's very tedious, but it's what has to happen. I want to get rid of all these trees and put them all back, make it look really cool, and make that little lake there. And then I'm not sure what we're going to do. This is mostly going to be a terraforming episode to make up for the mistakes that I made with that quarry. Well, that was awful. So let me keep on going and see what happens. Things are looking a little better. I filled in the lake, little lake here, put kind of like a little place where it's kind of like springing out. Not really a fountain. I wanted to make an idea that it was coming out of something. I can make that change a little bit. But yeah, so I also did some bone mealing around, trying to pretty it up a little bit here and there, just throwing some bone meal down, that sort of thing, just to give it look like more it was like naturally generated than just something that I've been working on. And it's been looking up pretty well. It looks great. The trees are starting to come in. I'm starting to get a lot of these trees taken out. Obviously, this is going to take probably multiple episodes. I might even do some of it in a stream because it's kind of grindy, but it's looking pretty good. I mean, I'm having fun with it. Just going around and making changes, doing what I can, seeing if I see spots, and just playing around. So I'm not sure if I want to do this the entire episode, so I'm probably going to switch gears here, but I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm just getting kind of bored with doing this. You know, it's not fun. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go and work on the cows and making sure the cow system is working right and it's hooked up correctly. So I think that's what we're going to do next. We're back now with the cows, and you can remember the quarry system messed this all up. It took out a couple of our cow stations. A lot of this stuff is gone and not going to be working right. So we have to fix some of this right away. And one of the first things I want to do is down here. A lot of these systems here are using the ender conduits. The conduits don't work right, as you know. So what I want to do is I want to work and make cables that will pull them out and bring them into our main line over here. So let's do that. Let me go and rip up the floor. I almost said rip up the road. Yeah, that's kind of like what we do up where I'm at from in Ohio. We rip the road up a lot. It's like a seasonal thing. Okay, so there we have this. This is the main cable. We're going to rip this completely up, and we're going to put regular cable down. And then after we put the cable down, we'll hook them up into each of those casting bins or basins. And then after that, we will then start to worry about cleaning this whole thing up, getting some things done here, because it just needs to be fixed badly. Okay, so let me exchange all this and put all this in here and get this kind of hooked up. Shouldn't take that long. Coming off of each of these, we're going to put an importer, which is importing into the system, the storage system. Importing and exporting gets confusing. I'm exporting out of here, but I'm importing into the storage system. That's how you remember in relation to storage systems. These are importers. Okay, so let's hook those up. Now, none of these are ready to go, and the reason why is that the system that's up there that has the progressive automation doesn't have power. Probably run out of power since the time when that thing happened. We had a bunch of chickens that were doing the work. So we're going to have to hook all these up, and then we're going to have to get the power lines hooked up, and then we can start to add into some of this and get some other things going. So I just want to get this part hooked up so we're ready to go, and then we'll finish up the rest of this. So let's get this done, get the power done. I've run another line from the back. This is behind the cows. What I'm doing here, I put a piece of cable down, and I'll put an exporter, which means it's taking from the storage system, putting into here. And what I'll say it's a coal. It's exporting coal. You see here, it starts to go in. This one's all ready to go. So I'll do the next one. Put another one down, put one in, go into here, we say coal. And you can see it slowly adds in coal. So we're going to do this up to this point. Now, I want this to go all the way around the cow farm. Okay, so we're going to set this up right here. We're going to stop for a moment. There it goes. Okay, so this needs to go on and around, but I don't know how far we need to go. So what I really need to do now is I really need to set up more cow pens. So we got to figure out how many cows we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 3 more bays on each side. Okay, so that's what I need to do next. I need to make my things look right, get them all hooked up, get everything looking right downstairs here, and try to run all the power lines, running all the way around to the back. Okay, so these things should be running pretty fine. That one, see, that one just left right there. What is this? This is what? Electrical steel. It filled up and it went. This one's cooling here, and there it went too. So everything seems to be working fine again. Okay, so we just gotta work on doing more cleanup, making the pens. After looking into the storage system, I found that we had a lot more FoolCraft stored up. So we have a total of 16, which means 8 on each side. Now I spent some time just trying to get the layout here We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pens. So right behind here is where we'll turn the corner. On the other side of this wall, then we'll do the other 8. So I've got to plan this out and get this done. It's taking a lot longer than I thought because I've got to be very meticulous with what I'm cutting out. It's rather slow. So we're going to keep on doing this. I want to see if I can get the other pen set up and get the power lines, everything basically upstairs looking right. And then we'll go back and work down on the plumbing that's downstairs. I'm done working with creating and getting all the aesthetics of the upstairs done. Obviously the pens aren't created yet, but the walls are done, ceiling's done, the glass is done for the upstairs levels. I haven't done obviously anything yet down below. So that's what it'll be in a little bit. Right now what I want to do though is each of these pens, I don't have anything hooked up in the back. I have, as you can see here, I have it behind these things, I have the progressive automation tools. So in essence I have to get all of that stuff that has to go in the back here done. And that's the next step. So we're going to go back around the back here. And we have this little tunnel here where I can get to the back. And you can see where all those are. We just need to continue on with this, making more of these, and go all the way till we've done with all this, and then we can come over and do the other side, hook up all the coal systems, and get everything looking right and working right. So, yep, that's the next step. I finished the upstairs. I've put all of the cows into place, so you can see they're all in here. They're all ready to go. Looks really good. Back here, all the stations are set up. They're looking correct. I don't have any light back here. Let's fix that really quick. Okay. Anyway, all of these are filled for coal, so that's looking really good. Let's make sure the other side's lit up before I go back downstairs. Yeah, this is good. The piece here. So, what else I worked on was the downstairs part. I'm going to show you that real quick. Just made the framework of all the walls and get everything hooked up the right way. So you can see here, I haven't done anything with the plumbing yet of all these systems. But I did put in the walls and made all the places look the way they're supposed to. So everything down here looks really good. So the next step for me to do is to start to do all this plumbing work. We're going to add in the conduits going down, putting the bucket back, the fluid tanks, and the casting basins or casting table with ingots if we need it, going into here, and then we'll just have this line all the way through. So that's the next step. I'm going to work on it right now. The fluid tank system is in, and you can see I've got all the tanks set up. They're all set up correctly and working well. Now I tried casting basins, and of course some of these, they don't work with casting basins, like Hooch. That doesn't work. So I need to figure out what other system these use so I get them into my storage area. So that's what I'm going to do now. Some of these may take casting basins with ingot casts on it. Somebody take other things. So each of these I'm going to have to worry about, and I'm not sure. And I'll try to go over it when we come back in the next clip. So there are 4 of these on this side, and there's 5 on this side plus 1 extra over there that I have to figure out. Now some of these are duplicates. I think I have 2 of the redstone alloy as an example. I think this one's redstone alloy, and I believe this one is too. So I've got a couple of duplicates, but that's okay. Just means more of the same thing. So let me go and figure this out, figure out how to work with each of these materials and kind of get them set up. I was unable to figure out how to get the fluids out of those items correctly. I just couldn't find a formula. Like for instance, if you go out here and you look at Hooch, I mean there isn't anything. You have the Hooch liquid, you can put it in a bucket, but I don't want to be making tons of buckets. That just fills up your inventory with buckets. I didn't know enough floor of how to do it. Well anyway, then I remembered that these have, you can get, besides regular discs, you can get fluid discs. So what I did on this upper area is I have the regular 64K storage discs, which is for items, but I've added these fluid discs, 512Ks of each, 2 of those, into this drive bay. So then I was like, how do I get access to this? And I couldn't see how to do it. And you have to make a fluid grid. Something new to learn, fluid grid. And I've hooked up the blazing pyrotheum, and you can see it shows up here. Now how you use it from here, I don't know. But that's really, it's really cool. So now if I go back down to the cows, and I'll show you how I did this. It's pretty easy, and it should just pump it right out. So, okay, so we have this is our lines, as you recall. And right here I did the blazing pyrotheum. So here we have, this is zinc, molten zinc. I'm going to put on an importer, and then I'll start to put in the cabling, just like we do. And as soon as I put this in, this thing should start to work. course it's not going to work when I said this because I got to put it to fluids. There you go. But now that it's pulling out fluids, all those fluids then show up in the fluid grid. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hook all the rest of these up, and that'll should be do it for the cows. Everything is hooked up. Looks pretty organized. Looks pretty nice down here. When we go up here, all the cows are ready to go. I got to put a door in here, and I got to put signs up here, that sort of thing. But, you know, I can do that later on. That's pretty easy stuff. You don't need to see all that. So if we go over here to our fluid system, you can see that I've got a lot of all the various liquids and things, and these will fill up. Now, like I said, I don't know how to use it from here, but at least we have them, and we can keep on stockpiling these resources. So you can see they just changed. Something else came in. So yeah, it seems to be working great. So I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I got to get some editing done on this and get this out the door. It's right now, it's about 5 o'clock, and I was intending on trying to do a stream tonight, maybe on the other server, on the vanilla server. So if you see this, think about maybe 8 o'clock. If I do a stream, I'll be on it around 8 o'clock, which is in about 3 hours from now, 8 o'clock Eastern. So yes. Hey, if you like this video, please click that like button. If you have any comments, put them in the comment section. If you'd like to be notified of videos that I produce, please subscribe to this channel. Again, I am Tinker77. Thank you for joining me. Have a great night. Bye-bye.